Parannoul is one of the working names of an anonymous Korean shoegaze musician. Uh, his other names include Rough and Beautiful Place and My Dream Fever, and quite a lot of albums that are now deleted under the name Last Star. He has released, including those Last Star albums, 17 albums, the first of which was in 2017. Hi, my name's Dan. So this is a request review, and most of this channel contains reviews of the 3,000 greatest albums of all time, according to a list at a website called Claimed Music, where they have compiled this list from lots of critic lists. So it's a kind of like a Metacritic thing, except Metacritic doesn't actually reach back into the past, whereas this one does. However, sometimes I do request reviews, and this is one of those. And if you want to request a review, just leave a comment on any of the videos on the channel, and I should see it and pick it up. I don't absolutely promise I will review all requests, just in case there's something really awful or some other reason not to do something. But I so far have done most of the requests that have been requested. It does take me a little while to get round to them, though. So this was an album that the request was made by a user called Nassim T or Nassim Panda. And it's the second album under the Parannoul name, and it's my first encounter with it. So Wikipedia says for the styles for this, it cites shoegaze, emo, post-rock, lo-fi, and math rock. Let me try and do my own description as to what it is. So it's, in some ways, kind of musically, it sounds to me like indie or rock, something in that kind of area, mostly. But then the sound is filled up in terms of there's a lot going on. It's very busy sound, and then it's pushed so that everything is kind of distorting and clipping, which also it makes it feel more like a big fuzzy blanket of noise in some ways. It's got a bit of a lo-fi feel just from the amount of topping and distortion that it's got and the way that it's filled up. Mostly the instruments are guitars and drums, sometimes more drums. I'm not sure if there's kind of drums laid on top of drums sometimes here. I think there's some use of I'm trying to remember his name, but he did the Wall of Sound technique for Motown. And part of his process there was to have the same thing done over and over and over and over again, so multiple layers of the same instruments. Sometimes the sound effecty stuff. Phil Spector, that's the guy's name. Sometimes the sound effecty stuff. Sometimes there's effects that are kind of put on top of the whole mix. So the whole mix might have a slow phase going on with it. So that could kind of make people say it was psychedelic, that sort of approach, but that doesn't seem to have been in here in the mix of genre descriptions. Sometimes it's quite complex in terms of its rhythms and arrangement, and done in such a way that it reminds me of other things that are math rock. So this is the math rock element, which kind of seems to definitely go for fast, complicated changes. In some ways, a bit like some bits of prog rock. There's some singing, but it's quite low key. I think it's probably in Korean. I don't actually know because I can't either hear it well enough to work that out, or not sure I would accurately be able to identify Korean when I heard it from other languages. The singing isn't always in tune, but mostly it is. The whole album seems to be about this big, full sound. And probably my favourite track on the album is a track called White Ceiling, which is a 10-minute track, and the start and the end of it particularly good. It's got use of a kind of alarm, beep, 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 beep kind of sound. However, sorry, Nassim, I'm not a fan. I wouldn't say it's terrible. It's got an interesting sound, an interesting idea, but that just that interestingness to it wasn't enough for me to warm to it. I felt like it was a bit of a, yeah, too much input, or overdone my stimulation in some ways, just because it's been pushed so much in it. But I would say, if you are the sort of person who likes modern experimental approaches to music, there's quite a lot of this sort of, in different ways. People are pushing the envelope and trying different things with the music, and particularly in the kind of shoegaze, lo-fi area. If you're the sort of person who likes these experimentations, you might really like this album. I didn't. I wasn't a great fan. So, as always, at this point, I'd love to invite you to tell me what you think of the album. So please do leave a comment. And that's it from me for now.